Greetings, friends. We are so glad you joined us tonight. And as you can see, we have a full house of presenters this evening. We have four of us from Dancing Moon Travel. I thought it would be really fun for all of us to just share our favorite destinations, our favorite cruises, and just kind of share with you what it is we like about those particular places and what we love about those cruise lines and those experiences we've had. Also, I want to remind you, we so appreciate you tuning in for our live listeners only. And this is just for those of you who are tuned in this evening watching us on our premiere live broadcast. We are going to have a great giveaway. And tonight, I'm just going to show you ahead of time. You want to stay tuned because I'm giving away one of my all-time favorite accessories here. This is the travel handbag with all kinds of security features. Guys, if you're watching, somebody you know, there's some gal in your life out there somewhere who likes to travel. An amazing gift. Just put it back for Christmas or a birthday or whatever. Because if you're a guy, well, you might want to carry it yourself these days. Who really cares? It's kind of where we are these days. So you might want to even carry it. And that would be fine with me. So anyway, we're going to start off this evening, and I'm just going in screen order of who I see on my screen. I hope it's what you're seeing. And I'm just going to go around, and we're each going to take about a minute to talk about ourselves and just introduce where we are and a little bit about our love for the travel business. Anything you want to share? And Natalie, I'm going to start with you.
Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having us as part of your evening. We're glad to be here. I have always enjoyed travel, and I've been working with Pat Hand because she was my husband's travel agent, actually, and she was looking for part-time help. And so I signed up and ended up being kind of a full-time travel advisor, and I just love it. It's been wonderful.
And Sandy, for you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Sandy Brock, and I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana, and I have loved to travel my entire life. I started out at a young age with my parents and started going abroad as a teenager. Travel's been in my heart and in my blood, and my entire life I've wanted to be a travel advisor. I have been blessed to know Pat my entire life. And so it is a joy and an honor to be able to be a part of her team in Dancing Moon Travel.
And last but not least, Kathy.
Hello, everybody. Great to be here with you tonight. Hello, Natalie, Sandy. I love to travel, and I found that I probably like to plan travel more than I like the trip. I found it was the excitement and the challenge of putting together a fantastic trip. I'm located in the same town as Pat, in Port Charlotte, Florida. And in fact, found that Pat lived only a couple blocks from where I lived and looked her up. And it's been, 2-3 years now, Pat?
We're right at 3 years, I think, Kathy, for you having joined us, coming close up on that 3-year mark.
Yep, really enjoy working for Dancing Moon Travel.
And I'm Pat, and I started all this in 2008. Never had any idea of having more than just myself involved, doing a little part-time travel dabbling. And now we have, there's 11 of us scattered around the country. And I just can't believe all of the places I've been and the having the opportunity to just indulge in travel and help other people discover the joy of travel. It is just warms my heart, and I just can't imagine not doing what I do. Some people say, how long are you going to do this? And I just say, well, until the day comes that I can imagine not doing it, I guess is the answer to that. And that I cannot imagine not doing what I do. I love it so much. So anyway, let's start with favorite destinations this evening. And Natalie, let's start again with you. You and John travel really as much as about anybody I know. What destination rises to the top for you, and what is it that made that destination special?
Well, that was a difficult question when we were preparing for this evening. I thought about my family is actually French. My parents were born in France in the Basque region of France, and then they came to America on the boat. So I'm first generation American born here. And so I think I always gravitate back towards France. But meeting my husband, John, and being able to share that with him and enjoying the Basque country. A couple of years ago, we took a fantastic trip where we toured the French Basque country with family, and then we went on the Spanish side, which I wasn't familiar with, San Sebastian, Bilbao. Boy, some beautiful, beautiful things to do. And this spring, I have been very, very busy booking all France, Spain, and also Portugal. That has probably been one of my top sellers for clients. Lots of people want to go to those areas and just all different parts. There's so many different things to explore. And you can do a land trip that we can prepare for you. I have some clients where the husband just retired and the wife retired a year ago. They're going to spend 3 weeks in Spain and Portugal. I have another 2 solo traveler ladies that are going on a wonderful cruise with Oceania, but they wanted to spend time in Porto and Lisbon and Barcelona. So we booked a trip around all of that. So really lots of wonderful opportunities. And I just love that part of Europe. So I really like to share that with our clients.
You know, folks, if you want, we did a Let's Talk Travel episode. If you go to our YouTube channel and just search it out, we've got, if you're interested in the kinds of a kind of trip like Natalie was just sharing, there's information because we did lots of pictures during that when Natalie and John are both photographers, and they had some great pictures that we showed during that as well. And Natalie, I must say that Spain is really popular. I just sent documents out. I have 3 couples doing Spain. They're going to do it. It's about 28 days all totaled. In the middle of everything, they're doing an Avalon River cruise, but they're doing Barcelona, Madrid, Seville, some other area too. So they're really checking it out. So Spain might be the next hot destination on that. Sandy, what about you? What's a favorite destination that comes to your mind whenever I say favorite destination? What pops up?
Well, without a doubt, and having lived overseas in Germany for 2.5 years, spending a lot of time there in Austria, one would think I would go there, and I love it very much, but my heart is true to Budapest. And like Natalie, it has its roots for me is because of my family. My mother, first born here, 100% Hungarian. Grew up in spending a lot of time with my grandparents. The household spoke Hungarian when everybody was together. They shared all their stories about Hungary. So at the age of 13 was my first trip to Hungary, spent 30 days with my mom and my grandma there, meeting family. Got to go back at the age, in 2018, I got to return with my oldest son, his wife, and my husband. So Budapest was part of our stop. My son was born in Germany, so we finally got to get him back to where he was born. And so part of that adventure took us to Budapest, and I left my heart there. And I just cannot express the beauty of that country. From both sides of the Danube, from the Buda side where it's calmer and more of the history, to the Pest side where it's lively and beautiful, from the nighttime views of the parliament, from going to the central market, 3 floors of everything Budapest and Hungary, from the food to the entertainment. I just can't say enough. My family took a bike trip. While we were there, we rented e-bikes and we biked all the way up to Gellert Hill. And if you're familiar with Budapest, that is a trek on a bike. Thank you, Lord. They were e-bikes. But we biked all the way up there. And when you get up there and you look over Budapest, there is just nothing like it. Fisherman's Bastion. I can go on and on. The Jewish Quarter, and we even went to the ruin bars. And if you haven't experienced the ruin bar in Budapest, Hungary, well, that is a treat for you, because you are going to see some unusual characters, some unusual decor, but it's all part of of their history, and I cry when I leave. I can hardly wait to go back. It is on my radar, but I need much more time than what I got to spend in 2018. So I'm ready to go back, and I'm ready to share Budapest with our viewers out there. If anybody's interested in learning about Hungary and the bass, I'm thinking about the bass, the Szechenyi bass, and one of them, Gellert, the bass there, to go and to get in the hot thermal baths. They each have their own personal, their own personal personality. There's cave baths there. I mean, you cannot want for anything to do in Budapest, and it'll just steal your heart. It will just steal your heart. So my all-time fave.
That is magnificent. One of the things that people could do, and this is actually what I did with the Danube River cruise.
Yes,
it is to many of those either start or end in Budapest for the Danube cruise, and that is actually the itinerary that I really recommend for first-time river cruise people, is to do the Danube. I think it is unforgettable. But I did the pre-cruise stay in Budapest, and it was just, as you say, you fall in love with that. The opera house there is
yes.
amazing, absolutely
Yes.
amazing. And there are also land tours, and you can do independent, but lots of ways to do that. And exploring family roots, you have both brought that up, that what a reason to do a trip, and maybe take your kids or your grandkids along to introduce them to that family heritage.
Yeah,
Great
absolutely.
job.
Good transportation. It's easy to get around. Trains, buses. It's so simple. So it's just an easy place to travel to.
And unforgettable. You first met at 13 years old.
Yep.
You had that experience with your mom, and I grew up knowing your mom. She was Aunt Helen, and so we did that, and oh my goodness, the stuffed cabbage. Nobody does it like the Hungarians. It is the best
Yes.
in the world. Oh gosh, I've tried to
And
make
langouste, and you can go there, and I went straight for those langouste stands for their fried langouste. So that was my favorite growing up, paprikash, and so the food is amazing. It is amazing. So
it truly is. So Kathy, what about you? What's your all-time favorite? You have been around a few places also.
Yes. Difficult question. And if you would have asked me this in February, I would have said Italy. But I recently just had the opportunity to go with family and friends and colleagues to Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland was nowhere on my list at all, but I had this wonderful opportunity. So off I went to Belfast, and I fell in love with it. Beautiful, the greenest green you can imagine. The activities out in the countryside we did sheep herding farm. We did a farmhouse stay where we cooked bread and we made sloe gin. And it was all done by a private chauffeur and 9-seater bus. The lanes with the rock walls, it was just beautiful. The history in Belfast was just fascinating. And to hear it firsthand, actually from different perspectives, depending on the tour guide, was just really, really fun to hear about. In Belfast, too, that there's a Titanic museum, because in Belfast is where the Titanic was constructed and then launched for the first time. So the museum was wonderful. And then right next door to the museum was a Titanic hotel that actually had a lot of the original construction material used to build the hotel itself. Because when they opened the building after it had been closed down for 20 years or so, they found all these artifacts in the building. So I really enjoyed the beauty of Belfast.
Amazing. And you did, as you said, that was an escorted tour. So a little different twist. So there's so many ways to approach destinations. It's just there's escorted tours and independent travel and just so many different ways that there's something for everyone. You know, some people want the freedom to do independent travel and kind of make it up on their own with some planned touring and uh, some other types of things. My phone is just blowing up on me, but other people want the safety and security and convenience of planned touring, and so no matter what your travel style, there's something for you in pretty much every destination. We can plan a trip that meets your travel needs as well. Now let's switch around. Well, I haven't shared mine. Oh my goodness, I wanted to share a little bit too. Mine, I guess I'm going to say I was, like some others have said, very surprised. It was very hard for me to choose one destination. It really was. I usually keep it with four, but one destination, Croatia, just absolutely rose to the top for me. And one of the things, it was just magical. It's a very safe destination. It's clean. It's beautiful, and has all of these ancient ruins, and the houses, and people have businesses. They're not ruins, that they're still very much intact, and people are living in them and have businesses in them. And it just, to me, it was so unexpected, because like Kathy was saying, for Ireland wasn't on her bucket list. It was an opportunity that came my way, and so I was just like, sure, I'm in. And I was just blown away when I got there. I fell in love with that destination. It's just the beauty, the people, the food, the incredible water. And we did the yacht tour, where we did the coastal tour with a 30 passenger yacht, and it was just so intimate. And I made, new lifetime friends. And I know Natalie was on one of those cruises with us as well. And it was truly just,
Magical.
yeah, just an unforgettable and unexpected surprise to me, how that country just kind of stole my heart. So, what can we say, except go someplace you might not have as the top of your bucket list. If an opportunity comes your way, grab it and go for it. Maybe it's a special deal you see and it's not on your radar. Just do it. So, because we have been surprised ourselves, even being in the travel industry, with how some destinations just snuck up on us. So now let's turn the corner and talk a little bit about something that's always near and dear to my heart, and that's the cruise industry. I think that most of us have done a little cruising here and there around. So why don't we kind of do the things that on the cruise ships? Tell us about your favorite cruise line, your favorite, maybe it's your favorite ship, or and what itinerary you love. Just um, share anything you like. Again, well, let's start with Natalie and just go around. What about you and John, Natalie?
Well, interestingly enough, I had really not done a lot of cruising. I went on my first cruise when I met John and his family. We had a family trip on Princess. And then I took a Carnival cruise just for information, really, because as I began as a travel advisor, I booked like 9 Carnival cruises right off the bat. So I thought I should experience this so I can explain it to our clients. And finally, last year, I have to say my favorite experience so far has been the Ama Waterways River Cruise. And we all did Colors of Provence together. In fact, I was with Pat and Kathy on that. And I had never been on a river cruise. And I thought it was just really wonderful. It's a smaller ship, probably about 150 passengers. We were on the Ama Christina, I think it was. Beautiful stops. All the excursions are so well planned. The food is very gourmet. And what I liked the most, I think, is that it felt very familiar. Like this when you're on the boat together, the living space. I know a couple of times we had breakfast with Kathy or dinner at a table, but you might also be sitting next to people you've never met, and yet you've formed friendships and conversation. It's just very relaxed. It's like a big family room. So I was very impressed. Top-notch service. Everyone has a balcony. You always have view of either the city or the river, depending on where you are. And we went through several locks and experienced all the engineering behind that. And I thought it was very, very interesting. Also, I was a little bit concerned because we went later in the year. It was in November, but it was a beautiful time to explore. Like you might think of Provence and the rivers as something you want to do in the spring and the fall. And while this was still late fall, I found it very enjoyable. I mean, I live in Texas, and so we have a lot of summer heat. So it was kind of nice to kind of bottle up those memories to hold on to for the summer, that'll be approaching in a few months. And honestly, we didn't, I mean, it wasn't, it was very pleasant. I mean, you could wear a jacket. We definitely had a couple of windy days, but we were pretty fortunate overall, just a jacket for your excursions and then back on the cozy boat to enjoy a lovely dinner together. And we had entertainment and music. It was really a great destination, wonderful vendor to do the Alma waterways. I really would highly recommend them. It was a real treasure of a trip, and I'll remember it always.
Oh. Alma is really is one of our go-to providers for the river cruise market. A lot of people don't know anything. The one that starts with V, everybody knows because of their advertising, but we know about some other options. And river cruising is just a great value because so much is included, and it's such a lovely, convenient, civilized way.
Yeah, my total bill was $12 for a glass of wine each of us had after an excursion when it wasn't the actual cocktail. Oh, and every night a signature cocktail, which was pretty fun too. So yeah, you really know exactly what you're spending, and I did like that a lot.
Really nice. What about you, Sandy? Have you taken a cruise along the way?
I have. I've been on Carnival Cruise, but right now I am just all about Princess Cruise Lines. I'm proud to be a Commodore certified agent. And so I have just really delved into what all Princess has to offer, and I have fallen in love with what they have. Their ships are beautiful. There's 17 ships currently on the Princess line, sailing to over 330 destinations, 100 countries, all 7 continents. It's endless what they can provide. Their innovations on their ships are amazing. Their medallion class ships are wonderful. Their entertainment and food is top notch. I enjoyed very much today watching live the naming ceremony of the brand new big and beautiful Sun Princess.
Oh, yay.
I am a big Ted Lasso fan. So seeing Hannah Waddingham being the godmother of the new big and beautiful Sun Princess was A-okay in my book. That ship is amazing. I know it may not be for everybody because it is big. One of the captains said, it is a destination in itself. I think it might be one of those ships where you can just go on a cruise to nowhere and never be bored on that ship. But if that big of a ship is too much for you and you like the classic, the more ornate and classic type ships, well, with 17 of them, there is one for you. I'm working right now for Mark and I to find that perfect cruise for us, the perfect time, the perfect ship. And while I do want to sail on Sun Princess, that is definitely on my list. I'll take any of them. And I got to thinking about it today, and it's kind of like when my husband texts me and he says, I'm running into Costco. Is there anything you need or want? And I always reply, yes, one of everything, please. And so when I think about where do I want to go and what do I want to sail on for Princess Cruise Line, it's yes, please, one of everything and one of everywhere. And so narrowing that down, even for me, And I have been every day. I'm looking at them. I'm researching the trips. I'm looking at the itineraries. You cannot go wrong with Princess.
Princess is a wonderful provider, and they're a premium cruise line, and in their category, they are absolutely my go-to for families who want a little more upscale experience with their cruise, but they want to bring the kids along. Princess really has a corner on the market for families who want a more upscale experience. Great job, Sandy. I loved it. What about you, Kathy?
Well, I agree, Natalie. I love riverboat cruising. Oh, just loved our riverboat cruise together. But at heart, I'm a Norwegian girl. I sail Norwegian most. I'm a Platinum Latitudes member, and I just really like the ships because I can choose as to per if I'm sailing solo or if I'm sailing with my grandkids. Got to look for those slides and for the grandkids. I like their free at sea options. I think that works really well for some people. And I like the different classes they offer to the clients. They have the mega ships, of course, but they have the new Prima classes right now. The Viva just came out, and the Aqua will be coming out in 2025, and they're just gorgeous ships. So yeah, I definitely I'm going to go with Norwegian, but I've cruised all the lines, but I think definitely they're my favorite.
Way cool. Now, you know, if listeners, if you have not picked up on the fact that there are a lot of differences and variety in the cruise industry, cruises are not one size fits all. Each cruise line has its own little space in the industry. And if you think you don't like cruising because you've cruised on one brand, you probably just have not been on the brand that really suits your travel style, because there really is, there's small ships, there's big ships, there's mega ships, and there's fun ships, and there's luxury ships and everything in between. So there's really something for every taste and preference in the cruise industry. I'm going to say my pick for the cruise market, I'm still going to stick with Holland America. I like uh, they have the mid-sized ships. They're big enough to have all kinds of amenities and features and great entertainment, great food. They're in the premium category. But I like the little more smaller ship, a little more intimate feel, upscale. I always feel like a little bit of a princess myself when I sail with them. But it's a hard call, because really I appreciate so much of all the brands I try to get, it's a sacrifice I make to try to get on as many as I possibly can. So I can tell our
Somebody has
clients
to do it.
about that experience. It's a sacrifice. Somebody's got to do it.
The downside of the job, right?
That's right.
Yep.
And I have to say, for itinerary, I love the Panama Canal. Alaska also, but I'm going to say the Panama Canal, because Alaska is kind of something all to its own. And I love the Panama Canal itineraries. They just have so much. You usually get to Costa Rica and Cartagena and some places that you don't go on many of the other cruises. So I kind of go for that with my picks for the cruise industry. So, folks, that's pretty much it for this evening. Sharing our all-time faves with you, and hope that you picked up a little bit of something that might help you in deciding where you want to go next, how you want to get there. Folks, don't just keep your travels a dream. Let's call on one of us to make it a plan. Go to our website, dancingmoontravel.com, and you'll find all of our agents are listed there on our About page. Reach out to somebody in your area of the country, and yes, make that dream a plan, and we can help you. We have operators are standing by, ready to take your calls. So anyway, finally, we want to give away that fabulous handbag. I want you to enter in the comment section, only for our live listeners this evening. Travel Agents Rock. Just put that in the comments, and someone of our live listeners is going to be entered to win this fabulous handbag truly is one of my favorite travel accessories. So that's it. I wanted to keep this at our regular 30 minutes, and I'm just about 30 seconds away. So tune in again next week and join us for another episode of Let's Talk Travel. We so appreciate you tuning in. Bye, everybody, and bye, gals. Great seeing
Bye-bye.
you.
Have a great evening.
Nice seeing everybody.
Nice to see you.